Heat, smoke, and vileness emanate from the blood-red skin of this fiendish tyrant. Horns crest its skulls, tusks frame its toothy maw, and spines grow from its limbs. Wings drape its shoulders like a leather cloak, and in its clawed hands it grips a barbed mace of black steel. With each breath, steam issues from its nostrils. Yellow eyes blaze with equal measures of hatred and glee as it approaches. This scene, Pit Fiend, is brought to you by Describe. Describe. Ready? Roleplay. Visit Describe.com/RPGBot and use coupon code RPGBOT5 to get $5 off your first subscription payment. Welcome to the RPGBOT.Podcast. I'm Randall James, and with me is Tyler Kamstra.
Hi, everybody.
And Ash Eli.
Demons, am I right?
Yeah, man. Yeah. You are right.
Wait, was that an Ash from Evil Dead quote?
No, that was just
Okay.
That was an Ash from RPGBOT.Podcast quote.
Okay, that guy's pretty cool too. Fewer shotguns, but honestly, that's a perk.
You got both of his hands.
Tyler, what's happening?
All right, well, tonight we are discussing the Abyss. So we're continuing our ongoing series on the various planes of existence in D&D and Pathfinder. We thought we would look at the planiest of planes, the plane with the most planes in it. In theory,
We heard you like
infinitely large.
planes, so we put more planes in your planes.
Yo, dog.
Pretty much. So yeah, the Abyss. We're going to talk about demon stuff. It's going to be great.
Could be awesome. All right, let's hop into it, folks. What's the Abyss?
Well, for those who are wondering, I thought it was are demons and devils different? I thought it was the same thing. Devils are the residents of hell and are lawful evil. Demons are the residents of the abyss and are chaotic evil. So, very important distinction. They are all against Jesus. That's all I know.
Someday we'll talk about daemons with a Daemon because they're different.
Are those running my scripts?
That's exclusive to Pathfinder, I believe.
I know.
Okay.
But yeah, demons. Demons.
Wait, pseudo service stop? Is that can I kill the daemon that way?
Yes.
Okay.
But the abyss is basically, whereas the nine hells have.
Wait, no. You can't keep going. Kermac's Rocco's stuck in the chat. Mad Damon.
Terrible.
Beautiful.
I love it so much.
Thank you.
I don't know if
that was a gift.
Yeah, I don't know if he was going for the Team America World Police thing, but immediately I read that.
You kind of have to.
Perfect. Okay,
Matt
fine,
Damon.
Ash. If you want to talk about that, Matt Damon. Matt Damon, I'm sorry. If you want to come on the podcast, I will apologize to you in person, and we can talk about tabletop gaming.
I don't think he will listen, or if he did, I don't think he would care. So, whereas the nine hells are, as the name implies, has 9 layers, very ordered fashion. Each of the layers of hell have a specific lord and have a gimmick or a sphere of influence that they proceed. Apropos to their nature, the abyss is a chaotic, jumbled mess of infinite layers. It's possible that it's infinite. There is possible that there is a finite amount of it. They aren't sure. Basically, anytime the abyss manages to completely corrupt a plane of existence, guess what? That gets stuck in the pancake layer.
Which makes you wonder, how many times does that happen?
A lot, apparently, because there's at least 666 layers. So that's a lot. And we're not going to go through all of them because some of them are like a sentence long description on the wikis. But not all of them have lords, and the ones that do, sometimes it's in dispute as to who is the lord of that particular plane of existence. They're all called demon princes is what they are. And unlike devils, who basically just want to get souls and stuff like that, demons want to destroy everything and just make a whole mess and turn everything in the world and every plane of existence into another abyss layer. It's basically what they want.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about the Blood War in a little bit, right? But that's the core opposition, right? Is why are these folks fighting? They seem like they ought to be friends, like weird friends, like a motley crew, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But they're fighting because one group would like to rule over everything, and the other one wants to destroy everything.
It is hard to rule over the ashes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, honestly, that feels like the easiest thing to rule over, right? Like there's nothing to do. I've burned it to the ground already. We're done.
So the biggest difference between demons and devils is that, devils, we talked about how there's a strict hierarchy of devils and you get promotions based on, exemplary service and stuff like that. And that's a very ordered, structured way to do it. Basically, the book describes demons. Every demon believes that they are the center of the universe and that only their plots and their own comfort matter. So the only way to get demons to cooperate with each other is beating them into submission. So that's why demons are usually their own worst enemy. They will constantly fight with each other. The only thing that gets them in line is a demon prince. Demons by themselves are kind of pathetic and not really, depending on the power of the demon, aren't a huge threat. As soon as a demon prince shows up, a chaotic mess becomes a full-blown catastrophe. Organized demons are scarier than their devil cousins.
I could see that, yeah.
Yeah.
I love the plot detail about like every demon believing that they're the center of the universe. Because like even the lowliest, weakest demon, like some random quasit hanging out is like, yes, one day I will reshape the multiverse in my twisted image.
Yep.
You just know Shovel from Baldur's Gate 3 is like, everything's going to have stupid names. Basket, fork, shovel, don't care as long as I'm in charge.
Yeah. When I killed the Demogorgon, I'm going to make everybody name themselves after silverware.
So we've covered some of the basics. So as we've done in previous episodes, let's take a look at the 5e optional rule before we get into the really cool lore, because I love a good optional. So this one's called Abyssal Corruption. It is stunningly similar to the one for Hell. After a long rest, you make a DC 10 Charisma save, or you become corrupted and you gain a flaw. Once you are corrupted, every time you take a long rest in the Abyss after that, you must make a DC 15 Charisma save or become permanently chaotic evil. And both of those can be removed with Dispel Evil and Good, just like the thing from Hell. So again, feels very similar. But the flaws you can get feel like nice and demon-y. Here, where's that table? One of them makes you think that you have to betray all of your allies to achieve your goals. One of them makes bloodlust. I enjoy killing for its own sake, and once I start, it's hard to stop. It's like eating Lay's potato chips or Ruffles. Nope. What's the one? Something can't eat multiple? Or no, that's wrong.
No, you can absolutely eat multiple. That's how they get you.
The other thing that we should talk about is demonic influence outside the Abyss, because there's actually pseudo mechanics for that described in Mordenkainen's Dome of Foes. So basically, demons, their goal is to breach a plane of existence. Once they do, the infection, as it's called, because demons are basically they're called the cancer of the planes, is what they are, because they functionally act like a virus or a aggressive tumor. It starts with a small portal. Small demons and stuff like that might come in and do a little bit of shenanigans. So that's called the initial infection. It's not too much of a big thing. If people act quickly, you can usually get rid of this infection before it becomes an incursion just by killing all the demons around the portal. Then it goes on to the next stage, which is a growing menace, which is where a larger portal opens up and starts corrupting the environment around the portal and turning it more closely to the Abyss. This becomes a bit more worrying, but the demons are still disorganized at this point, and a swift response could probably get rid of the demons that are in there. Then the next stage is called a stain on reality, which is, this is where the portal becomes very big and the size of the region begins to grow and have lethal effects on the environment. There's a lot of demons here. Simply killing the demons doesn't solve the problem anymore. Now you have to do more things. You have to bring in a wizard to close the gate that's opened up, or things are going to get bad. Apocalypse Now is when a demon prince shows up. That's the final stage. At this point, there's no stopping it. The demon prince has arrived on your material plane. Your plane of existence is screwed. The only way to stop it is to kill the demon lord. But even then, it's going to have a permanent effect on the world and the landscape, and may take generations or thousands of years to fully expunge. So it has fully altered your state of existence. if no one stops the demon prince and more demon princes come in and stuff like that, it becomes a full-on incursion, and they succeed in wiping everybody out or corrupting them into demons. And guess what? Your world now becomes a new layer of the abyss. Welcome to the party.
And demons work similarly. Like if they're killed on your plane of existence, they go back to the abyss, and then they're angry and they want to come back. But if they're killed in the abyss,
they're dead for good. Yeah.
Okay.
Something about fiends and that one trick, just all of them. It's very strange.
Yep. Well, it's all outsiders work that way.
Is it all outsiders? I thought it was only fiends. Yep. Okay.
No, well, angels work that way too. If you kill them outside their plane of existence, they reform in their own plane.
Well, shoot, all of a sudden angels participating in the demon war or the blood war makes a whole lot more sense. Like, why don't they just do that? If you're just going to respawn, why not? Let's see. So let's take a quick peek at Pathfinder, because of course Pathfinder's going to have some different stuff. So we're going to jump back and forth like we have on previous episodes. A lot of this lore is kind of changing as we go through the early days of the post-OGL world. In the Pathfinder Galarian setting, the Abyss is also called the Outer Rifts. If you either crack open Rage of Elements and look at the new diagram of the planes, or if you can just picture a tennis ball in your head, imagine like the outer surface of the tennis ball is the border of reality. All of that is held together by the River of Souls. Like, if you guys remember our episode on Tianxia, James explained, as long as the River of Souls keeps moving, that bubble stays together. The Abyss, or the Outer Rifts, is basically a series of tunnels which kind of go in and out of, that bubble. The most notable rift is basically like a giant puncture in that bubble. So, it's bad. It's not good for reality. And it's all Rovagug's fault. Rovagug chewed its way out of the abyss into the unformed soup called the maelstrom that's inside the tennis ball. And now we have demons everywhere. Absolute monster. No wonder they put him in a permanent prison. Yeah, so a lot like the Abyss, it's a lot of chaos. There aren't layers in the Outer Rifts. Instead, it's like a series of permanently shifting tunnels, and every once in a while you'll find a pocket where reality has stabilized inside the rifts. That's usually where you're going to find demon princes, but it's not clear if the demon princes are strong enough to make those pockets stable, or if they find a pocket and say, this is mine now, I'm going to build my fort here. So conflicting accounts, it's one of those things where it's intentionally left vague, I think. Tell
your own story at that point.
It's kind of neat.
Make it work either way.
Exactly. Yeah, so the Outer Rifts are neat. We'll talk more about the creatures that live there, because it's not just demons in Pathfinder. It turns out they're pre-demon demons that hate demons.
That feels right. I mean, demons hate demons, right?
I'm sorry, what?
We'll get there. I'm going to make you wait because I'm a monster.
I mean, I guess that is also technically true in the Abyss, because there's a type of demon. I forget what they are. It starts with an O. What is it called? Orithim? Because there's two different demon types. Oberiths. Yeah, Oberiths and Tanari are the two different types of demons.
Okay.
There's also a third called a Lamora, but we don't talk about those.
Okay. I'm forgetting the lore on those, so tell me, what are they?
Oh boy. Okay, so the Tanari are the demons that we all think about. The Demogorgon, all of those regular, pretty populous demons we immediately think of are called Tanari. But they weren't the first type of demons that were in the Abyss. The first type of demons were things called Oberiths, which are kind of like insectoid type of things. There's a demon released recently called a Seborix, I think it is, that is in Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes, that creates other demons. That is the most prominent Oberith that still exists in 5th edition lore. Okay, this is very weird. But Oberiths are originally from a completely different reality. They were basically like interdimensional aliens. They tried to basically incur onto the current plane of existence in order to do that, because their own plane of existence was basically being destroyed. They approached Therizadune before he fell and was like, hey, there's this seed of corruption. You can bring it to the astral sea. And their hope was that Therizadune would place the seed of evil, it's literally called a seed of evil, I think, in the astral sea, so that they could then take over the entire universe where like Toril and stuff is located. But Therizadun had his own ideas, so he put it in the elemental chaos so that he could gain power from it. And instead, what happened was the realm collapsed in on itself and created the Abyss. There's still a part of the Abyss called the Deep Abyss, I think it's called, that is supposedly a portal to the original Oberith home plane. Anybody who goes down there never returns. Essentially, Therizadun eventually was imprisoned in the Abyss, and that's how the Abyss, as we know it, came about. And the Oberiths were in charge for a while until they created the Queen of Chaos was the major. She was the major ruler. She was an Oberith, and she created the Demogorgon, who eventually overthrew her. And now Tanari just basically went on a genocide campaign against the Oberith, and now there are very few of them left. The deep lore that you all come to me for. Little known fact: nobody knows about Oberith.
Now, I'm sure this isn't written canonically like how it's handled, but let's say in the Abyss, I kill an Oberith. Do they go back to their plane of existence and then they can come back through the deep abyss?
No, they just don't. Oberiths are basically considered natives of the Abyss now. It's because their home plane merged with it.
The original contagion. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So they are fiends then.
Huh.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's talk about how we reach the Abyss, because, it sounds like a cool vacation spot, right?
No, I don't think so. Yeah.
No? Oh.
It's like the worst Baskin-Robbins ever. It's 666 layers or more.
I feel like this is like the 5th episode I've been told I'm not allowed to pick vacation destinations. I'm sensing a theme.
I mean,
most other places
this would be one of the worst vacation. This would be one of the worst vacation destinations.
I'm
sure.
not sure about the material plane. And you're trying to take me to the Abyss?
Yeah, you got me there. Okay. The material plane has sand. We can't go there. This one's pretty simple for the most part. Getting to the Abyss is pretty much the same as every other plane. It's a plane shift. There are portals from various other places. If you are chaotic evil and you die, you might end up in the Abyss in some form. The river Styx runs through the Abyss. Depending on the source, it's unclear if the river Styx originates there. In Pathfinder, it originates on their equivalent of Limbo. I cannot remember the name right this second, but goes from chaotic neutral plane down through the Abyss and then across. In D&D, I don't actually know where the river Styx canonically starts. Most of the things I've seen say it starts in the Abyss, but I don't know for certain if that's true. But yeah, you could always sail up the river Styx to reach the Abyss, and that would only be the worst idea anyone has ever had. So, Yeah,
I'm not sure why you would do that, but if you wanted to go to the Abyss, like how most plane shifts and stuff to get to Hell dump you out in Avernus and you have to work your way down, a similar thing happens with the Abyss. Everybody arrives at the first layer of the Abyss, which is called Pazunia, but it's also called the Palace of... It has many different names. The Palace of 1,001 Closets. I don't know why they decided to name it that. Yep. The Plane of 1,000 Portals and the Plane of Yawning Pits. Basically, it is a blasted wasteland that just has portals everywhere to different layers of the Abyss. And it's anyone's guess as to where you'll end up. Most of the portals you go through will just send you to a random plane. It's not like, yes, I need to go to this layer. I'm just going to find this portal. It will laugh at you and be like, haha, I laugh at your ability to think that there's any sense of order in a realm of chaos. You are going to some other place. Sorry. And even where it empties you onto that plane of existence is random. It could put you down in an empty part of the plane, or it could put you in the Demogorgon's bathroom while he's on the toilet. So that'll be fun for you.
Okay, now that raises the question, if there's just portals all over the place that go to random places on other planes of existence, like, why aren't demons just popping up on every plane of existence at random?
Well, not plane of existence, a different layer of the Abyss.
Got it. That makes more sense. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. If I said plane of existence, I meant layers of the Abyss.
Okay. Good. Because that...
Yep. No, that would be then the Blood War wouldn't even need to exist.
Yeah.
But
the demons would have already won.
Yeah, exactly.
Pathfinder, I already talked about how Rovagug chewed holes in reality to create the outer rifts. Some of those rifts go other places. Like the biggest one empties out into the Maelstrom, which is like, there's the inner planes, there's the Astral Sea, and then there's the Maelstrom, which is like even more Astral Sea, but more wacky chaos. So great big rift empties into that. And then there's a few rifts that show up in other planes. Like if you've heard of the World Wound in Pathfinder, that was one of those rifts for a little while until they did a whole adventure path where you close it. Now it's the Sarkoris Scar. I don't know who that's named after,
Sounds
but
pretty good.
They seem cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right, so we've gotten in and out of the abyss. We've come, we've gone. We're probably here for some reason. I hope you're here for some reason. I hope it's not by accident. So what are we going to find here? What are we going to do in the abyss? Because there's some cool
We're going to
stuff.
find demons, and I think what we're going to do is either kill or be killed.
That all
Okay,
checks
yeah.
out. Like 99% of activity is just being killed by demons. Not 100%.
Eventually converges.
So we've talked about all of the various demons are in the monster manual. There's new ones in Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes, like go crack the books open and stare at them and be like, ah, yes, look at these demons. Neat. Most of the cool stuff you're going to run into is actually around the demon lords, because they are the points of stability. They're the real points of interest that aren't just arbitrary violence. I want to take a cool look at some of the demon lords. So now we only know the names of like a handful of them, and like they're listed in the Judge and Master's Guide. They have stat blocks in Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes. I'm sure there are some that I have missed that I don't know about, or ones that haven't appeared.
I'm adding them to the list right now.
They had some money.
You do not.
Oh man. This is why I need the team to help me research these episodes, because I miss cool stuff.
This is what happens when I tell Tyler, I'm sorry, I can't help you research. He just drops the ball. He drops the ball.
There's a lot of stuff, man.
I understand. I understand. I really, honestly, like if it had been any other week, I could have put in a bunch of, because I've recently watched a whole video on this stuff. So it's like, that's why I know a lot of this. But yeah, you want to go through some of the demon princes?
Yeah. All right. So I imagine everybody has heard of Demogorgon, at least thanks to Stranger Things. So if you've seen the Demogorgon in Stranger Things, not even close.
Not even close. Not even close.
They did at exactly one point in the show, they pulled out a Demogorgon miniature and put it on the table. If I remember correctly, it was episode 1. So like you do see the real Demogorgons, like 2-headed ape monster with like tentacle arms and dinosaur legs. And that's Demogorgon, like the Prince of Chaos, the wackiest chaos monster that there is.
And about as close to a leader of the abyss as you can get.
Yeah.
I'll go and ask for clarity, right? We're going to talk about all these demon lords. When we talk about demons, there are multiple flavors of a particular demon. Like 3 of these demons pop out on you. When we talk about the demon lords, there's only one of each of these. It is the name of this entity.
Correct.
It is not a type of entity.
Exactly.
Correct. Yeah.
Demogorgon, the leader.
Demogorgon, ostensibly. Like he is the largest bully in the abyss that we know of, at least. So like Ash said earlier, really the only way to get demons to do anything is to have a demon prince like force them at threat of death. So yeah, Demogorgon is the biggest thing. Demogorgon has his own layer of the abyss that is a gigantic continent, which is mostly jungle surrounded by an infinite briny sea. It's real weird. Like a lot of the planes of the abyss, layers of the abyss are described as infinite. So it's like, I don't know, layer feels like it's not the right word for this, but I can't think of a better one.
I mean, you could, right. It's a layer, but you can be infinitely wide at that point. It's still infinity. It counts.
I guess that's true.
Yeah. Demogorgon, despite what you might think, it's like, oh, the abyss, probably blasted wasteland is his lair. No, he lives in a wild jungle.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's described as a very verdant and what's the word I'm looking for? Untamed wilderness, just greenery upon greenery. It's a very fetid, like dark jungle. But it serves a purpose because Demogorgon likes to hunt through the jungle. So you will be his prey.
He's got a cool castle too. It's 2 twisting towers with giant fanged skulls on top.
I like that.
Like if you're gonna have a lair, pretty dope.
Yeah, I have a theory that the reason why the Demogorgon is top dog is because he's 2 people in one. Even though the 2 heads never agree on anything.
That sounds.
I don't know how anything gets done. But yeah, those who aren't aware, Demogorgon is basically he's like a 2-headed baboon with tentacle arms. That's the best way I can describe him. Go ahead.
Orcus, one of my personal favorites. Orcus got a ton of attention in 4th edition, but has been around longer than that and is still around in 5e. Orcus is ostensibly the god of undeath, wants the entire multiverse to be undead and under his control as undead. So the Staff of Orcus can turn things undead. Orcus's entire lair is these crazy valleys with tombs all up and down the sides. So just everything around him is dead, undead, whatever, and he is spooky.
Orcus wants to turn everybody either dead or undead because people make too much noise, is apparently his problem. And he's like an angry neighbor. He's like, shut up, quiet down up there. I'll turn you into an undead thing. Yeah, when you're dealing with necromancy plots in most D&D games, if it's not Vecna, it's probably Orcus.
So what's the end game here? Like, if he wants to destroy everything, is it like, we're going to start by making everything undead and serving me, and then once we've like conquered everything, then just lay down and be dead? Like, is that the plan?
I don't know.
Yeah. You're asking if demons have plans? They don't have plans.
Pushing for destruction.
Their plan is like, I want to kill everything and just make it into an extension of my home plane, and that's as far as they. Right. Lolth is the next one. Lolth is one of my personal favorites. Unfortunately, if you're looking for her stat block in Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes, it is not there. She's one of the few demon princes who doesn't get a stat block, probably because she's such a powerful, iconic demon that they didn't want to make her killable.
She's also like a full-fledged deity. Like Orcus she is kind of a deity, which is weird.
Which kind of begs the question, why is Demogorgon top dog? Yeah. He's really takeable. He's really takeable in this stat block. Whereas Lolth is like a god. Demogorgon's not a god. He's fully a demon prince. Yeah. But I mean, a lot of these demon princes kind of operate independently. So, but Lolth, if you've played a drow, you're familiar with Lolth. She's the spider queen. She lives in a place called the Demon Web Pits, which is not a fun place to be. But if you're a drow, you will probably spend a good portion of your life in the Demon Web pits at some point. If you piss off Lolth, you will be turned into a drider. So
don't do
that's
that.
Not fun.
I mean,
don't. Fate worse than death.
The question is being asked. It's like, why isn't she in charge? Why is the Demogorgon ostensibly the one recognized as being in charge? I get the feeling if you went to Lolth and you were like, "Hey, Lolth, why is the Demogorgon in charge?" Then you'd be a drider.
Yeah, 100%. She thinks she's in charge. For that's the thing, is all the demon princes, if you were to ask them, they would say that they are in charge. But realistically, the Demogorgon is the one who calls the shots. And I think a lot of that also has to do with Lolth doesn't really care about the rest of the stuff that's going on in the demon in the abyss. She's the most hands off of the abyss. Like, if there's any sort of abyssal shenanigans going on, it's unlikely that Lolth herself is going to be involved in it anyway. Usually her plots are mostly just centered on her people, the drow, and not much else. So if the drow are up to some shenanigans, 100% Lolth is going to be involved. But if it's the abyss, it's a crapshoot if Lolth is actually involved. I think she does show up in Out of the Abyss, though, so that is contrary to what I said. But yeah, essentially.
Let's see, Baphomet? That's a classic demon name. Like, shows up in real world mythology.
We got a goat head.
He's the Minotaur. He's the Minotaur. He puts you in a maze and he hunts you around like the Minotaur.
Apparently, of Baphomet's followers, like, if you follow him long enough, you start to go crazy. And if you stay crazy without dying long enough, he turns you into a Minotaur, which is considered apostasy, basically. Like, yes, I have won Baphomet's favor. I'm a Minotaur now. I'm going to go wander around mazes and eat people.
Brilliant.
Baphomet's pretty simple. He likes the hunt. He likes wilderness. He hates civilization.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty easy. That's why Baphomet is pretty popular to worship, because he doesn't require a lot of you. Yeah. Just murder. That's about it. There's a lesser known one called Frazerblue. Frazerblue is weird. He's kind of acts like a pseudo devil, but not really, because he's basically like the lawyer of the abyss, is how he's described. He's a gargoyle. He's a gigantic gargoyle. And he's basically any sort of immoral, corrupt lawyer who just wants to win a case regardless of what laws or regulations he has to break. So in that way, he's kind of towing that line between lawful and chaotic. Expect any deals to go with Frazerblue to fall apart real quick. Because, yeah, he is not interested, unlike any devil, in keeping his word. He will betray you at the first sign that he thinks it will benefit him in any way, shape, or form.
Got it. So could probably convince you that he's a devil, but isn't bound by the same rules that devils are. Interesting.
Correct. Yep.
Grast is another demon prince. If you've seen art of Grast, he's the weird purple guy with the like weird wiggly sword.
Yeah, he's in like BDSM getup. So,
Yep.
yeah. I think you can get his vibe by looking at him as to what he does.
So famously, the Demonomicon of Igwilv, which is a book written by Tasha, also known as Igwilv, basically describing like, hey, this is what we know about the demon princes and how to mess with them. She wrote that by getting her secrets from Grast, who thought they were dating.
So she catfished Grast. I love that.
Yes. If you read Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, there is a picture of Tasha in like a wizard's lab, and she's talking to Grast through a mirror, who looks very proud of himself. And just behind the mirror, where he wouldn't be able to see it, there's the Demonomicon of Igwilv. She's writing in it with a quill that she's like operating magically as they talk.
I love that. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And it's great because I hate Grast, just because Grast is probably the most problematic of demons, because he focuses on, sexual degeneracy. And specifically, he is into non-con, which do not like that. No. So whenever he's taken for a ride, yes, I appreciate that. So yeah, there's a reason why Grast isn't used all that much, because when he shows up, it makes people uncomfortable.
Yeah,
most books.
There's also there's a rumor that also floats around that he was once a devil before he changed sides, because he was tired of all their regulations.
Okay.
I've seen people use Grast as a guy who strictly only is enthusiastic consent, which means that if someone consents to he will only do things to someone who consents. But when they do that, he will go all out. So
that's less problematic.
So that's a way you can take him. I think that feels remarkably moral for a demon. But I mean, for the protection of your players, we're going to suspend our disbelief. And I think that if you want to do it that way, that's a perfect way you can run Grast.
Yeah, I think that's the right idea. Let's see. Grast notably has 3 layers of the abyss, which is that allowed? Who cares? Demons. Apparently, they're all exactly the same according to the Dungeon Master's Guide, and it's all like markets and pleasure palaces. So it's just like, you want to buy some weird stuff, you want to do some weird stuff. Grast has 3 flavors, 3 whole layers of all of the things you could possibly imagine in the multiverse. You might die.
Every kink, every what is it? Yeah,
every weird
taboo
kink thing.
Yeah, every weird taboo thing. He's the Rule 34 of the universe.
Yeah, it sounded like Tyler said that he has 3 flavors, and I liked that.
Oh, fetish. That's the word I was looking for. Every kink, every fetish is in his 3 layers. Enjoy yourself.
Layer 1, vanilla. Layer 2, chocolate. Layer 3, strawberry. No? That's fine.
Nope.
All right, moving on. Yinogu. So Yinogu, the demon prince of gnolls and hyenas.
Is it Yinogu or is it Yinagao?
Man, I don't know.
I don't know. These weird demon names.
There's no pronunciation guide in the DMG. I don't think there's a pronunciation guide in Monsters of the Multiverse either.
You keep looking. You keep talking. I'm going to look and see if there's a pronunciation guide for Yinogu.
Right. So Yinogu's whole deal is he is constantly violent and constantly hungry and basically just exists to kill and eat, and that's his whole deal.
I did find a pronunciation guide for Yinogu.
Really?
Yinogu, and you were right. It is Yinogu.
Yes. Got it in one. All right.
Congratulations.
This isn't a chameleon situation. All right.
Chameleon?
Chameleon. Yeah, that's the classic thing. Like, if you've only ever seen chameleon written, it's completely normal to pronounce it chameleon because that's how it's spelled.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you?
When I was a kid, I read for the longest time. I don't know why, and you can feel free to make fun of me for this. But when I was first reading, I thought the word sacred on the word was scared.
Makes sense.
Like I'm a scarid. I'm
All
just
right,
like,
sure.
okay.
Yeah, mine was epitome.
I think that happened
So-
on the podcast.
The
Pretty sure it
episode.
did. See, it happens to everybody. It's not
Mainly me, everybody.
According to Wing Lady, someone mispronounced manacles like it was a Greek word. Was it Manacles? Because that's pretty
Yeah.
funny. That does sound like a name of a Greek hero or a Greek
Yeah.
god.
Like, I think that was directly after I did Heracles as Heracles. Like
Yeah.
manacles.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Wait,
All right, so
which demon
Yinogu,
lord is
correctly
this?
pronounced, apparently. Yeah, Yinogu and his friend Manacles.
Okay, look, no. If anybody was a fan of Manacles,
kind of
it would be Grast.
yeah, no, that's what I was gonna say. I actually kind of love that. Like, if you do use like an enthusiastic consent grasp, maybe he has this guy, his butler is named Manacles, who's just like a guy who is just in like a tight Speedo and chains and is just like the dildo for madam.
He's got a trench coat, but he opens the trench coat and it's just everything. What were you looking for?
No,
It's
No.
more trench coats.
No.
no.
Any item you want, it's like, oh, like I've got this pickler and that pickler, and
Gentlemen, this is a family-friendly podcast.
My name is Manacles, and the master's like, no, your name is Manacles. He's like, no, it's Manacles.
Uh, Delta in the chat saying chasm also for the hard CH. Now, I think
Chasm.
I think chasm is actually considered also acceptable for that one. So that may be a weird exception, but don't quote me on that.
I've heard it both ways.
Look, I speak one language, barely.
I don't know
Yeah.
what world you live in where chasm is an acceptable way to say chasm, but okay.
Look, there are people who say potato.
I
Like
don't know that those people exist.
Nope. Yeah. Potato, no. Tomato, yes. And those people are garbage people.
you mean the British?
Yes. But there's also the famous one that's like trips up a lot of people in D&D. So if you're one of these people, I do not blame you. Even Matt Mercer was guilty of this, confusing how to pronounce sigil or sigil. Not even if you're referring to the city, some people pronounce like the actual marking as sigil. It's like, nope, it's sigil.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right, Yinogu. So, Demon Prince of Hyenas allegedly created the gnolls by accident by bleeding, and then a bunch of hyenas lapped at his blood, which fell on the ground, and turned it into the first gnolls. And then gnolls, in keeping with their demon prince progenitor, are also motivated by violence and hunger. In previous editions of D&D, gnolls were humanoids. And it was rightly pointed out, like, hey, maybe saying an entire race of sapient humanoids are only capable of violence and bloodshed, maybe that's not the best look. So they're fiends now in 5e.
I think also in Pathfinder, they softened the lore of gnolls even further.
Yeah.
Which is appreciated. I'm not a huge fan of always chaotic evil races, but it is what it is.
Yinogu has some cool lore, like he has his own special type of demon called maw demons. Gnolls will typically parade around in packs and like hunt and kill things, and when their numbers start to get too low, Yinogu reinforces them with maw demons, which are literally like, imagine an upwards facing mouth with like eyes around it and like 3 stumpy little legs. They'll run around and eat stuff, and whatever they eat instantly appears in Yinogu's mouth. So Yinogu's like, I'm hungry, go feed me snacks.
It's a remote one.
Yeah, don't like that.
Yeah, it's real weird.
I don't like that.
Yep. Yinogu's entire layer of the abyss is just a gigantic hunting ground, because like literally 24/7, that is his deal. And all of Yinogu's mortal followers appease him by capturing living creatures and setting them loose on Yinogu's plane of the abyss for Yinogu to eventually hunt it.
Yeah, and there are human cultists of Yinogu who also, the way they worship is by practicing cannibalism. It's just a great cult all around.
Yep.
Yeah.
Feels morally wrong.
If you ever need an easy, clearly chaotic evil cult, there you go.
The last one we should talk about, and it's probably my favorite behind Loth, is Zagatmoy. That's the way I'm choosing to pronounce it. I don't care if it's wrong.
Close enough, as far as I know.
Zagatmoy is she's basically like the spore queen. She has mushrooms growing all out of her, and she basically wants to institute The Last of Us, which just make everybody into a walking spore mushroom zombie. And she's fun. I don't see her get enough attention. Use Zugget more. She's interesting. And then there's also that ooze one. I forget his name.
Yeah, I was just remembering that, and I'm trying to figure it out. Swamp of Oblivion.
Jubilex, thank you, Rocco. Jubilex.
Yeah. Rocco
I think it's Jubilex. But
is it all right, hang on. I'm going to check. I swear I thought it was like Juiblex.
Nope.
It is.
Oh, you're right. It is Jubilex.
Yeah.
Let me see. But it is pronounced Jubilex. Yeah,
really?
It is pronounced it's pronounced Jublex. Jublex.
So the I is silent, I guess. Weird.
I don't know. Yeah, that's that's what Forgotten Realms wiki tells me. Jubilex, or alternatively Jubilex or Jublex, I should say.
Apparently, Jubilex shares a plane or a layer of the abyss with Zuggtmoy, which is unusual.
Mm-hmm.
Also, like famously created the demi-plane of ooze on the plane of water by getting in there and be like, I'm going to corrupt everything, and then somehow was contained to a bubble.
Woo, yay!
I think that is like all of the major named demon princes in D&D lore. There may be a few more that we don't know about. Like, there's probably a bunch in like obscure adventures that never got republished in later editions.
So many layers.
Yeah, you can make up your own. There's enough layers. You could probably take a couple hundred and be like, these are mine now. I'm going to name all of these demon princes. Highest CR, his name is just Phil. He wears khakis, and that is all that is.
I mean, that's pretty evil, though.
Pathfinder, unsurprisingly, has its own demon lords. The list is similarly long, and I know a lot less about them, but there's quite a bit of overlap. So basically any demon lord that has appeared under the OGL is also in canon for Pathfinder. Now, it's unclear what's going to happen in the post-OGL world. Those named demon lords probably never going to show up again. So Baphomet is in there. Baphomet will probably stick around because that's a real world name, but he's also the Lord of Minotaurs in Pathfinder lore. So like that might need to change because it's too similar. Don't know. Orcus also in here, basically exactly the same thing. Lord of Necromancy and the Undead. And then, look at all these cool names. Abraxas, Angazon, Sith Visug, Dagon.
It's worth saying, like, Orcus is also from history, so they can still continue to use Orcus. Yeah.
Is it?
God of the Underworld, Punisher, Broken Oaths in the Etruscan and Roman mythology.
Oh.
Right. So again, like, how much can this Orcus have to do with the D&D Orcus, or do they have to take it a different direction? But ultimately, I mean, having an Orcus in charge of the undead, and then, there's a staff of Orcus.
Let's see. Notably among these, Lamashtu, the goddess of monsters. So Lamashtu was originally just a demon prince, like had a consort, and they like co-ruled some huge realm. And then Lamashtu goes and sicks an army of demons on some deity whose name I can never remember, stabs them enough times to steal some of their godly power, rises to godhood. Her consort is like, hey, no fair, you did that without me. So stabs her, throws her in a pit for a few centuries until she recovers and is like, okay, I'm a god now, bye. So Lamashtu, not a lot of friends, all of them monsters.
Makes sense. I sympathize.
I mentioned earlier there are pre-demon demons in Pathfinder lore. Ash was upset by this. So let me tell you about these things called Clipoths, which, what a name. So imagine you're in the Outer Rifts. Demons don't yet exist. You are a Clipoth. You're basically a Cthulhu horror. Like, you're some weird thing with a bunch of tentacles and stuff. Less bat wings, more tentacles. And then one day, these weird little larvae start showing up with human faces. They just start showing up all over the place, everywhere. Where are these things coming from? It turns out Pharasma is like, well, I've got all these chaotic evil souls that none of the deities want to claim, or like none of them have a rightful claim. I've got to do something. I'm going to turn them into larvae and throw them in the Outer Rifts where I never have to think about them ever again. And then daemons come along, visit the Outer Rifts. That's right.
I'm sorry, I can't take daemons seriously.
Yeah. So daemons show up and they look at these larvae and they look at Clipoths and they're like, I wonder what happens if we just mash these together. And that's how we got the first demons.
Perfect.
And now at first, the Clipoths were like, okay, this is annoying, stop that. And then there turned out to be way too many demons. Like, the demons rapidly outnumbered the Clipoths, took over the Outer Rifts, and now they're in charge. And the Clipoths hate that. even worse, the way that demon princes form in Pathfinder lore is a powerful Qliphoth willingly fuses themselves with the human soul larvae. So like, I want to be even more powerful, demon prince mode. So Qliphoths absolutely hate this. Absolutely hate demons. Primary purpose prior to demons was kill everything else in the multiverse. Demons came along, now it's kill all demons, take over the outer rifts, make sure there are no demons anywhere in the multiverse, and then get back to plan A, which is wipe out the entire multiverse. And the primary way that Qliphoths want to kill all demons is by starving the thing that creates demons, which means wiping out all intelligent mortal life in the multiverse so that no more demons can form. And once there can't be any more demons, then they just have to wipe out the rest of the demons.
That
Problem
feels
solved.
too far.
Not so bad.
That feels a little too far.
Yeah, it feels like this is Pathfinder's answer to the Obriths I was describing before.
Kind of, yeah.
Original inhabitants of the abyss, overthrown by new demons, and now they hate them and want to kill them as well.
Exactly.
So, yeah, it's pretty much the same
cool
thing.
origin story of like, powerful Qliphoth eating the tequila worm and turning into demon lord.
Yeah, that's about right.
I like that twist.
The tequila worm.
I was looking at Qliphoths where you're describing them. They are horrifying looking.
Oh yeah.
There's one that like, I don't know how to describe what I'm seeing here. It's truly horrendous.
Okay, so there's one of them. Imagine like a human mouth with cartoon flat teeth, like the like cartoon walking teeth that chatter,
Yeah.
those things. Surround that with like a fleshy ball, like a beholder, and then like tentacles coming off, and each of those end with little chattery teeth.
I'm going to post what I was looking at in the podcast chat for anybody who's interested in is sharing in my horror, because that is truly terrible.
All right. So we promised we were going to come back to it. Is now a good time to talk about the Blood War?
Anytime is a good time to talk about the Blood
Good.
War.
Yeah,
But also specifically now.
Okay,
So we talked a bit about it on the Hell episode. Basically, demons want to get out, take over the multiverse. Well, eat the multiverse, I guess. Devils don't like that, especially since demons have to go through hell to get there. So naturally, demons are like, hey, let's go take over the multiverse. We're going to sail down the river Styx. We're going to fight our way through those demons. We're going to get loose in the multiverse and eat everything. Demons don't care for that. Or, sorry, devils don't care for that. Demons care for it quite a bit.
it's to die for.
I'm sorry. Chat's reacting to the thing that I put in there. Fleshy scorpion tails. I hate it. What the hell is that? Why does it have abs?
Sorry, where did you post this?
The podcast in the Discord chat.
Oh,
Take
yeah.
a look.
Yeah, look at that. It's got like 4 sets of bat wings and abs and fleshy scorpion tails.
yeah.
Good God.
The tails looked like maggots at first. That makes them even more
It's like,
unsettling.
This
and I'm
creature
just like,
has huge
you do not
pecs
like-
and then like weird pustules on its back.
Look, Paizo commissioned some really talented artist to draw that for that, paint that, create that for them. And you just hope Paizo paid them in therapy.
See, this is what I want to give props to Pathfinder, because their art and creativity for their monsters is so next level compared to WotC. It's just, I don't think I've ever really seen anything that WotC's ever put out that's made me as uncomfortable as this picture makes me.
How do you feel about the spider dragons?
I don't think I've seen the spider dragons yet. Wait, you have Eve of Ruin, right?
Oh, I've got it in my hand literally right now.
Yeah, you haven't posted the digital copy yet, so I don't know what spider dragons look like.
We don't get it until May 7th. Peek behind the curtain for listeners. So we get review copies of stuff from D&D and Paizo and everybody.
I'm so excited.
Yeah. Hang on, I'm in the bestiary.
I'll just tell you right now, I don't think we'll be able to see it because you're pretty blurry.
Oh, okay. Well, full screen me for like 2 seconds while I flip through these pages.
It might just be me, but show me. Show us.
Where is it? There it is. Okay. Folks in the chat, everybody look at your cameras. Hang on, I'm trying to hold it so it's not going to have a glare.
Actually, I found some promo art of it as well, so I'm going to link that in the podcast.
Look at that thing. It's like a dragon head and too many eyes and like weird spidery legs.
I hate that. I hate that so much. Yeah. Okay. Well done.
Yeah. And then you flip the page because you're horrified, and there's spider fiends spelled with a Y instead of an I in spider, which doesn't make it better, folks.
So the art I just linked also has like little mandible like things coming out of its mouth. God, that's horrible.
Yes.
Oh,
Does it also have knives for front legs?
Probably. I don't know.
So, yeah, it does. It does have knives for front legs. God, that's truly awful.
Yeah.
Wing Lady says, thanks, I hate it. You're welcome, Wing Lady.
This is why I gave Amanda grief about it when we interviewed her.
Are you going to be playing Eve of Ruin?
No, I'm going to have to read the entire thing to review it. I don't know if I'm ever going to get to run a published adventure again.
Can you hold up that book? I want to see that cover for a second because it looks rad.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh my God, that looks incredible.
Yeah, like this is the alternate cover. They did good.
That might be the best cover they've ever done for a book before. Holy crap, that looks good.
Yeah. Randall, your wife has your copy.
I got a text message in a meeting and went.
Where's Ash's copy? Am I just chopped liver? Is that what I am?
Come to my house. I'll hand you this one.
I'm just teasing you.
All right. So we've talked about the Blood War. We've talked about the horrors of demons. I feel like we've pretty much covered it, folks. The Abyss, it's pretty neat. You probably don't want to go there on purpose. If you are going to go there on purpose, like Grass Domain seems like maybe the safest place to go because at least you go there for a good time, I guess, maybe. But like,
yeah, he's just going to be like, yeah, welcome, join in on the fun. I'm not going to do anything unless you want me to, then I will.
Bring a safe word, I guess. Jeez.
I will say, if you're not sure how to run an Abyss, a campaign focused on the Abyss, Diablo. You could do Diablo style like dungeon crawler. Just have the players progressively go deeper and deeper in the layers of the Abyss. Would be a fun time.
You were talking about the flaws earlier that you might get, where one of them is like an insatiable bloodlust, and I'm like, that's just my party I started with.
Accurate.
Yeah. We must have been
let's see. So there's an old adventure expedition to the Demon Web Pits. It was originally published in first edition, updated for 3.5. I have played it. It was spidery. Other than that, I remember it being a perfectly fine adventure. Just
I don't know what you expected. It's the demon pit. That's kind of its whole thing.
I don't know how random talked me into that one, honestly.
Yeah.
It probably made sense at the time.
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
The Abyss, y'all. It's not a fun place to go.
This week, we have a question of the week. This week, our question of the week comes to us from @Theater. What spell, other than Silvery Barbs, would you remove from D&D?
Yeah, Thayer's asking this because he's in one of my games, and I've made it known how much I hate that spell on this podcast.
Yeah. So I banned 2 things, and it's half of them. I probably should have come up with an answer before I picked this.
You picked it.
I know. It was short, and I thought that would be easy.
Buy you time.
I was wrong.
I'm going to buy you time while you think about it. And I'm going to say something extremely controversial. I'm going to ban Fireball.
Really?
Okay. It's the meter stick, right? Like, it's the thing that's like, my game is boring because everybody has 3rd level spells, and there's 3 different casters that can cast Fireball, and nobody does anything else ever.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. Maybe we could at least just drop the damage by 2d6. It would still be really good.
Would it become the default? If we remove that as the default spell you go to when, look, a clump of enemies. Oh, okay, well, I've made this combat encounter trivial now. I think it would be interesting to see where folks go from there. Because I know that there are some very good spells out there. I don't know if there's one spell that would just become the new Fireball. Like, I don't know if there's a number 2 spell sitting out there. Would I seriously do that? No, but like, if we're having a bit of fun with this question, let's get rid of Fireball and see what becomes popular.
Most of the ones I keep thinking of just have stupid, obvious abuse cases. Clone, how do I count on fingers? Clone, simulacrum. I almost said contingency, but I love contingency so much. It's just so much fun. Realistically, I think the one I would remove is Wish. It is too good compared to other 9th level spells. The fact that, like, if you have access to Wish, you have to take Wish. It's too good. There's no excuse to not take Wish.
I feel like, that's also one that I was laying on banning. I think that if you're going to use wish, it should be something that's like given to the players, like a story thing, rather than just a spell they can take, because it can break your game so much. And it's why I think a lot of one of the reasons why DMs avoid doing 20th level or higher tier play, because wish breaks everything.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's fun. And again, like Tyler said, and like Randall said, when there's just an objectively best spell, nobody takes any of the other. And there's some fun 9th level spells that are cool that I want people to use, but it's moot because wishes just can do all of them and more. And it's just, I think it's a lazy spell is what I think. Is I just don't, people like to say, well, it allows you to be creative. I'm like, yeah, but you can do that in other ways. You don't need a spell to do that. Illusion magic. Hello. Illusion magic is very creative. The other one that I would also pick, and this might be a controversial one, counterspell. I am not a fan of counterspell. I get why people like it, and I get why it's good. And when I use it on players, it's funny, but it never feels good. It never feels good to be on the receiving end of counterspell. When I use counterspell as a DM, it gives me a little bit of a serotonin bump, but it really upsets my players because they lose a spell. And then when they counterspell me, I get upset because my cool villain can't do anything. It's too easy. I don't think we should go to the Pathfinder one way where a counterspell is just useless, completely worthless and never happens. I think Pathfinder 2, again, threads the needle pretty well. Counterspell is a thing that is worth doing, but is still requires some pre-planning and requires some setup. So it's not just something that's just like, oh, counterspell. It's like you actually have to think about it. Anything that encourages more strategy rather than just having a no button, actually no, would be a benefit in my opinion. And I think that the developers also agree, because the changes that they're making to counterspell in the 2024 rules, I am in favor of. I think those are definitely an improvement.
I will say for counterspell, like I think some of the most fun the wizard in our current party has had. I have to take you a little bit further back. I almost got a TPK off of one fireball. I knocked one player character to 0 on a burning bridge where they literally had to roll a nat 20 on their death saving throw to stand up and get off the bridge in time, or else they would have died. I was going to kill them. I was very excited. 2 other characters got knocked down to 1. Thereafter, the wizard was always ready to counterspell anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other thing, a lot of more people in chat are agreeing with me than I thought. But yeah, you're right, Quaz. It is an exercise in futility, especially when you get counterspelled multiple times. It feels really bad. Yeah. Regardless if you're a player or a DM, it just ruins fun, especially since you don't have any sort of way to contest it. And then don't even get me started on people trying to counterspell a counterspell. That is just... It breaks my brain, and I'm just like, we're in an infinite loop, and this is purgatory, and I hate this. So it's just not. I think it's a spell that needed another pass. It's not really well designed.
We're getting another pass, so it's great news.
Yeah. I'm glad that they're doing that, and I'm glad that it's giving players more agency in reacting to counter spells rather than just like, well, he casts high enough level, there's nothing I can do to counter it. So I'm glad that they're doing that.
I agree.
All hail the Leisure Illuminati. I'm Randall James. You'll find me at amateurjack.com and on Twitter and Instagram at jackamateur.
I'm Tyler Campster. You'll find me at RPGBOT.net. Facebook and Twitter, RPGBOT.Net. Most other socials as RPGBot.
And I'm Ash Eli. You can find me delving into the dark secrets of the world on Twitter at Graven Ashes. That's also my warlocky name. Or on YouTube at Ash Raven Media. If you want me to run a spooky game for you, maybe set in the abyss, that would be fun. Just contact me on startplaying.games, link in the description.
If you've enjoyed the show, please rate and review us on Apple Podcast and rate us on Spotify or your favorite podcast app. It's a quick, free way to support the podcast and helps us to reach new listeners. You'll find links in the show notes. You'll find affiliate links for source books and other materials linked in the show notes, as well as on RPGBOT.net. Following these links helps us to make this show happen every week. If your question should be the question of the week next week, please email podcast@rpgbot.net or message us on Twitter at RPGBOT.Net. Please also consider supporting us on Patreon, where you can find all kinds of great rewards at any tier. You'll get early access to RPGBOT.content and polls for future content. At our $3 tiers, you'll enjoy your choice of ad-free access to RPGBOT.net or ad-free podcast episodes and access to live stream podcast recordings. At our $5 tiers and above, you'll get all of that, plus access to the RPGBOT.Discord. you'll find us at patreon.com/RPGBot.
Oh yeah, Tyler, what's the whiteboard tonight?
It's just an arrow pointing to this book. But look, I can put on the hand effect now. Look at me.
Hey, you have a tiny hand there, sir. You have a very tiny hand.
I actually do have very small hands.
No,
it's a thing.
But just because of the way it was lined up, it made it look like your hand was much smaller for your arm than you.